The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Corner Booth Podcast. I am your host, Jared Clemens, episode 273 of the Corner Booth Podcast, alongside my two amazing co-hosts, Matt, a.k.a. Jake Smigglesworth, a.k.a. Swagoo, Chris, a.k.a. Blackout Chrissy, a.k.a. 10 beers down, 10 toes up. That being said, I am the captain of this ship, Mr. Jared Clem. Last night sucked. I'm going to say it. We're not going to talk about the Eagles any more than this first 5 minutes. We're not bringing them up in the one-sentence game. We're not bringing them up. Me and Chris are airing the grievances now. Shout out to Mr. Costanza. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. So there was actually one beautiful thing about last night. We saw the beginning of one great player's career and the ascension of another. The Philadelphia Eagles last night got torched at one position, left corner. James Bradberry was getting torched like a bad souffle in an overcooked oven. But the other corners, Eli Ricks and Keely Ringo, allowed 0 catches and only 1 pass breakup. Bear in mind it's against Drew Lock. But we didn't hear about DK until the final drive of the game. And a couple pass interference calls on Josh Jobe. And on Mr. Holt and Mr. Hansy himself, James Bradberry. I love James Bradberry. I think he got a bad rap during the Super Bowl. I think that wasn't a hold. You guys heard me say it 1,000 times. But that being said, there was a bright spot. Ringo, who was ripped apart for his PI against the Cowboys, looked elite last night. I watched some of the film this morning. Kid's footwork was on point, was staying on the ball, kept with his receivers. Ricks was playing well too. I was like, okay, this isn't bad. And our passers are starting to get home again. There were things in the Matt Patricia experiment looked better. That defense looked good. I was very impressed. I'm like, yes, it was against Drew Lock. It was a good test run. That was a lot better than we looked in past weeks. That was a 1 in a million throw. Jackson Smith and Jigma made a 1 in a million catch. And that interception by Julian Love was literally this close to being an incomplete pass. So, game of inches, folks. Game of inches. Now, Eagles fans, I hate to be the sunlight in your rain clouds of despair. We're still 10-4. We play Tommy, lack of cutlets, and Kyler Murray. Those are the last 2 quarterbacks who play for the rest of the season. We get Johnny Gannon and Brian Dable. 2 teams who we have both have access to ground with. We get a pissed off Jalen Hurts, a pissed off Nick Sirianni, a ticked off defense, and I do not think Brian Johnson will last the season. I think we might have a Frank Reich sighting soon. Either that or Nick Sirianni is just going to rip the ball completely out of Brian Johnson's hands because some of those play calls last night. But also, this is also on Jalen Hurts. Hurts, I tweeted this out before the game. It was almost like pre-thought, right? Hurts needs to fucking relax. I don't know if you guys know Ted Lasso that well. I know me and Chris do, obviously. The episode where they take Isaac out to the hood to go play soccer so he remembers it's a fucking game. Jalen Hurts is pressing every play, every game. He looks so antsy, and he's so consumed with how he lost in the Super Bowl last year that he's pressing on every play. So he does reckless things. He's always trying to I swear, if Hurts goes back to the way he was, obviously you'll never be able to take back and get back completely to the way you were before that. You basically had a Super Bowl ripped out of your hands. But to that mentality, this whole Eagles team needs to remember it's a fucking game. You're still a 10-win team who beat a lot of good football teams who just played the roughest stretch of schedule I have witnessed as an Eagles fan. I've been an Eagles fan since 2000. 23 fucking years. I've never seen a schedule this brutal. But we made through it 4-3. I had a feeling we were going to lose to Seattle before the season even started. Does it suck we lost to him with Gino and we had the lead almost the entire game? Yeah. Does it suck how it ended? Because that nutsack Julian Newman caught both picks? Yeah. But does it suck that it knocked me out of the both playoff because of that last interception? Oh, of course. But is the season over? Fuck no. Is there only one team I'm actually scared of the entire NFL? Yeah. And they play out in the poop capital of the world, San Francisco. I'm not afraid of Dallas. I'm not afraid of the Giants. I'm not afraid of the Seahawks or the Lions or the Buccaneers or the Packers or insert team name here. I don't care. And the Eagles aren't either. This game against the Giants on Christmas Day is coming at a perfect time. We need a rivalry game. We need a game between two teams that just don't like each other. Against Tommy Cutlets and this really reckless Giants team who, honestly, I don't know how they beat the Packers. I really don't. We get Darius Slay doesn't play Sunday. That's fine. Honestly, let Bradbury sit. Just put Ricks, Job, and Roby and Ringo out there. Put a bunch of backups with our safeties and our linebacker. Hopefully Cunningham plays. They might not score because those boys were playing like animals on last night. As for the offense, guys, we started running the football and we controlled the clock. Now, if we could go back to running drags and crossing routes and doing what we do best instead of just chucking deep balls, we'll probably win the game. Brian Johnson's the fucking problem, and Jalen Hurts pressing is the fucking problem. Somebody needs to go to Jalen and say, hey, listen, you are a top 5 quarterback in this league, but you've got to chill the fuck out. Mahomes is having a bad season too. Okay? Mahomes lost to teams that would make us laugh. Okay? Besides the Jets, all of our losses have been pretty legit. And let's be honest, only 2 of our losses were blowouts. The other 2 literally came down to the last throw. So Eagles fans, like I see some of these guys, I think his name is Brody. He does a podcast for the Eagles. He is a loudmouth. I'm like, bro, you got to chill the hell out. I know you're doing this for shock value. I know every Eagles fan's upset. I'm fucking pissed, man. I didn't want to go to bed last night. I just wanted to sit there and stew and drink a half a bottle of whiskey. But I'm like, I got to get up. I'm an adult. Here's the kicker. And this is, I'll stop my rant. I'll let Mr. Chris take over. The sky's not falling. If you guys don't remember, before we thought we were like we were like Alabama, where we got to just steamroll everyone to the playoff. We're the Eagles. Nothing ever has come easy to us. Okay? This is literally a typical Eagles season. So everyone relax. Calm the fuck down. It's going to be okay. It sucks. It fucking blows. But you know what? Last night I saw glimpses of the old team. The running the football, the completed passes. I don't know what is wrong in that locker room where everyone looks like they're so like uptight. Somebody's got to knock somebody out. Or somebody's got to run through the Eagles locker room buck naked and screaming like Christmas carols. Because something needs to happen where these guys chill. Maybe knocking the Giants' teeth out on Christmas Day and giving them a nice old Philly-style Christmas present might ease it up. But that's my 2 cents. Chris, the floor is yours.
All right. Jared, I 100% agree with you. It's no time to hit the panic button. But right now, as someone examining and watching the game every week and just getting glimpses of like the team what we were last year. Right now, these past 3 weeks, we have not looked like a good football team at all. Offense, defense, there's always something off. Jalen's regressed, not completely, but he's regressed to the point where I just don't know what he's doing. Some of the decisions Jalen's making isn't smart. Like, I'm not going to say like the play at the end of the game was on Jalen because that might have been the play where
he forced it.
force it up to A.J. Brown. But you had 2 timeouts. You have to work on clock management. I'm so done with these, QB draws on second and third down. And if it doesn't work on second down, we're going to try to push it on third down. And then it's a lost cause. And then we fit in these bubble screens. And then you have Devontae Smith, who's 100, like literally my weight, trying to block.
Mike Jackson, who's 6'2", 230.
Yeah, he's getting steamrolled, Devontae Smith. And you're chucking deep balls to Quez Watkins, who can't catch a football. But the limelight of this game, and you touched on it, is I'd say Matt Patricia. And I don't think he's a bad defensive coordinator. I mean, you've seen his 5-year defensive coordinator stretch in New England. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was the coordinator from like 2012 to 2017. I did a little research behind that.
Don't break. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, those 5 years, New England's been ranked in the top 10. All 5 of those years in total defense. But all in all, dude, I don't know what's going on with Jalen. That's my biggest thing. And also, I'm going to point the finger at Sirianni a little bit, because it seems like in the second half of these games, we're not making any adjustments. It's not like we're changing how, we're balancing the run in the past like we did in the first half. Like, we're still running bubble screens. We're still forcing balls into double coverage that we don't need to, because we're thinking AJ Brown can pull him down, which most of the time he could, because he's huge. He's like DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
James Bradbury let up 60 yards in 2 plays. Like, he's burnt toast. I mean, he's just old. Like, it's just like, I don't know if he's lost his step or just like he's just has last year's flashbacks in. I don't know. But the young guys look good. I'm more nervous because, yeah, we're in a little bit of a rut in football. Every football team goes through a rut. It happens. But there's nobody in the locker room that's saying, like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, what?
That's what you hear.
Yeah.
I guarantee they're saying it behind those doors.
I hope AJ Brown goes to Jalen Hurts and say, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? A lot of the throws yesterday, he wasn't connecting. I mean, dude, you had 143 yards and 2 picks. I mean, I know you had the 2 rushing touchdowns, but you're at the half-yard mark. You had 2 picks and 143 yards. I mean, he's regressing. And this reminds me of when we had Wentz. As soon as we paid Carson Wentz, he did. I'm not going to say he was, a terrible, terrible quarterback, but he regressed a lot where you couldn't even trust him.
19, he was amazing. It was the first year he got paid. The problem with Wentz was that Clowney hit messed his brain up.
Yeah, I was at that game. I saw that live. I had to call the credit card company to tell them it was a fraudulent purchase.
Yeah. So here's the kicker. The Wentz and Hurts are 2 different humans. Very different. I think Hurts' biggest problem is now he's been paid. He has to do it all himself.
That's what I think too.
I think he's got to calm down. His nice lady, his nice girlfriend, his nice female agent, Miss Nicole Lynn, Nick Sirianni, AJ, his inner circle. Just put his hand on his shoulder. Hey, apparently he's tight with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, apparently. They all need to just tell him, dude, it's okay. It's okay.
He looks so beat up. As I know he was sick yesterday.
He looks mentally beat up.
He looks mentally beat up. He looks like a broken man. I don't see him. Usually when you see Jalen, he's on the sideline saying, yo, man, that's on me. Like, that interception's on me, man. It was a bad throw on my end. Like, he just goes right to the bench, just sits down, and he's just quiet. I've seen this for the past month, and I'm just like, what is going on with him? But it's like, I noticed these first 8 games, I'm like, a lot of these games, he's doing it on his own. I mean, he's bailing this team out on his own. I mean, he won the Bills game. We almost lost the Bills game because of Gabe Davis. He won the Bills game. He won the Chiefs game. He won the Dallas game. I mean,
the Dallas game he threw for what, 350 yards?
Yeah. No, there's games where he looked phenomenal, and he was like,
the only game he really didn't have to do shit was Tampa, because DeAndre Swift ran for almost 200 yards.
Yeah, exactly. But like, now he's just like a broken man. And I'm just like, what is going on, dude? Like, someone just has to tell him, like, dude, you're fine. You got to stop panicking. And I think we'll be okay. But like football is any given Sunday. I mean, you lost to Zach Wilson. No offense, Maddie. You lost to Drew Lock. Like you're losing to these bottom tier guys, and it's like you
I mean,
you
you
don't
also
think.
lost to the top 2 MVP candidates. So
Yeah, I mean, in this league, it's any given Sunday. There's no guaranteed win, but even I'm going to take this game seriously, like I take every other game. I don't honestly. The Giants are a laughing stock, but it's not a cakewalk. I mean, you would think with Drew Lock as a quarterback it'd be a cakewalk, or again Zach Wilson, you would think it'd be a cakewalk, but it wasn't. You lost those games and you learn. But I'm done with the adversity preaching and how we're going to be better and work on these things. Like, go out and do it. Don't tell me. Show me. It's two different things. So that's all I got. Hopefully they win on Christmas.
I didn't wind up watching the entirety of the game. I fell asleep a few minutes before halftime. I was exhausted, but one thing I did notice was I did not at all see Jamal Adams in that game, and I went to do some digging on what was going on, and apparently he was a healthy scratch for the game, and when he found that out, he didn't show up to the stadium. And Pete Carroll was on an interview, and he was like, if I had to guess, I would guess that he's home probably right now. And I think that's a little interesting, speaking to the character, just not showing up to the game, even though you're a healthy scratch. And then Julian Love was in his place, and you saw the kind of game Julian Love had, so shows Seattle, I think, who might be the better safety for them right there. But I wouldn't hit the panic button either. Eagles are a fantastic team. I think Matt Patricia is a very, very good defensive coordinator. Like you said, when he was the defensive coordinator with the Patriots, that defense was top 10 all the time. And last night they gave up 208 passing yards and 106, 102 rushing yards. Nothing insane. I don't think it's anything to be concerned of. I think that's actually a pretty good debut for a guy that got the reins like a couple hours or a couple days before the game. So I think give him a full week running that defense, I think they'll be just fine. But Jalen Hurts also, I heard, was ill, had an illness or was sick. So maybe when that clears up, he'll be a little better. Yeah. So not everybody's going to be Michael Jordan with the flu game. So I think once he's healthy, and I think once they just kind of get a little just rework it all, I think they'll be perfectly fine. I think next week's game is a very good bounce back game for them because that should be a game that they should obviously walk away with.
Allegedly, Frank Reich has already met with the Eagles already, but they have not announced anything. This was like last week. Just a little something there. Also, I think the problem with Brian Johnson, he's over his head. He was underqualified. Same thing with Sean Desai. They were both underqualified coordinators. These aren't whiz kids like Johnson up in Detroit, or back when McVay was the OC. I think McVay was the OC for the Skins back in the day. I don't know. But to DJ's point, we'll talk about his team got assaulted by the other Pennsylvania squad. Like, actually assaulted, like there should have been charges pressed. Now, I got to agree with my boy Frank Michael Smith. I don't think they should have suspended KZ for the season. Suspending for the game, sure, that's fine. That's the letter of the law. Throw a 1-game suspension, whatever. The whole season, come on, man. Really? I mean, listen, he's going for if it was just blatant, not even trying to go for the ball, but he is angled towards the ball. I mean, Casey does have a little bit of a rep for being just a sledgehammer of a guy, but all right. Anyway, we're moving on. Last talk about the Eagles today. So, Maddie, you can strike this game from, of course, the one-sentence game.
Yeah, it's you. Can be done.
We'll talk about this, obviously. By the way, folks, announcement drops tomorrow for guest list, corner booth, Christmas party. We're back. It's going to be a good time. Me, Chris, and Maddie, you're going to look all festive. Thursday at 7. It's a almost 2-hour show, 7 to 9. A bunch of great guests. We're giving away a gift card, which will be sent to you electronically because, God, I love Nike for that. That being said, also, the playoffs, because right now, me and Chris have made a comeback. Maddie had a rough week picking-wise. Me and Chris are now, you're less than 10 away. I'm 10 away or something like that, or?
Yeah. Yep.
We're both catching up, man. Chris, as long as we're within that like 12 to 10 range, we can catch Matt in the playoffs.
The double points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Ooh, double points for me too. Ooh.
Well, here's the thing, buddy. You're looking like the Dallas Cowboys right now towards the end of that season. All right.
Listen, I don't got to pick my team anymore since they're ain't making the playoffs, so I don't have to be biased with my decisions.
Listen,
no
I don't
more.
have to give a fuck about fantasy anymore either. So it's all about
That's
gambling
true.
for me at this point.
I'm thinking about last week. I should have took the Raiders on that upset. I shouldn't have just followed through with it. They dropped 63. I mean,
Damn.
like I should have just went through with it. Trust the gut. I never do that. That's my problem. Even with
I mean,
gambling.
who would want to pick a game against Easton Stick? You know,
Yeah, Easton Speed,
Bro.
dude. Light you up.
Me sitting there looking at plus 21, minus 21 for the Raiders at almost like, I think it was like, if I put $10 down, it would have paid out almost $1,000. And I'm just like, whatever, never mind. I'm like, fuck, that would have been like 4 car payments.
Yeah, it was like 40 or
I
something.
was
Like
so
that.
fucking mad. I was watching that shit where I was like, damn it. That being said, we'll just touch on the headlines quick before we get into the 1-sentence game. Nothing really. I love how college was very quiet this weekend. Me and the boys, Chrissy shooting 100%, except for the Jags, man.
Yeah, I thought the Jags. I mean, it was my upset, but like I thought it'd kind of be a little bit of a toss up because they're home. Ravens are, they're traveling down.
Jags are a terrible home team unless they're playing the Colts.
Yeah, it's crazy. They do. What are they undefeated still on the road? Is that stat? That stat's still active?
I don't know. Let's ask the team that they own. DJ, if you're still in the chat, does your ownership still have an undefeated record? That being said, I will say this. Deontay Mitchell's on IR. That's the other thing that killed me. That boy on that run, if he breaks that, he's to the house, and your boy is walking into the next round. Keaton Mitchell was like my fantasy sleeper I grabbed at the end of the year. Dude, once I saw a knee injury, I'm like, I'm cursed this year. It's over.
That was ugly one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. They lost to Joe Flacco last week on the road.
Joe Flacco. Another guy that called the Jets, and we said no. Anyways.
You guys said no to Carson.
There's a bigger list of quarterbacks that called us that we said no to than it would be on a normal kid's Christmas list.
At a certain point, you do this to yourself, buddy. I try to be sympathetic, but you do this to yourself. Or the Jets do, not you.
I feel you.
No, he would say yeah.
I would have taken anybody.
It was honestly a pretty quiet headline week, which is kind of interesting. I mean, obviously it's Christmas week right now. Like, literally, I'm in. Obviously, everyone knows I'm in sales, dude. This week was weird. I keep getting the same voicemail. Oh, we'll talk after Christmas. I'm like, motherfucker. Every 5 seconds. I'm like, well, I hit my quotas. Couple quick hits. John Morant makes his debut tonight. Lane Kiffin signs an extension for 4 more years down in Ole Miss. Andrew McCutchen is coming back to the Pirates for 1 more year. Rodgers is looking like a return is unrealistic. Yanks are apparently the front runner for Yamamoto, so it's not all death and dishonor for Matt. Nobody cares about Drew Lock and his lame career. Micah Parsons taking shots to the media for the Cowboys' struggles. Interesting enough. Jalen Hurts taking shots at the Eagles for being distracted. He's not wrong. I will say that. This Eagles team almost has the illusion that they're assuming they're going back to the Super Bowl. And I think what Jalen said worked. Jamar Chase allegedly is going to miss a few more weeks. At least week 16, they're saying he's out. And finally, nobody cares about hockey. Nobody cares about
Flyers are good.
Do we talk about Rashard Mendenhall?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we want to talk about it, we can. Also,
Could I just talk about
Draymond is gone for at least 3 weeks. That is the current consensus. He's gone until at least the second week of January. So, all right, Maddie, you want to break down some Mendenhall news? I'm going to eat some popcorn and listen.
Yeah, I just need to pull up J.J. Watt's thing quick because I thought he had the perfect response to it. So, Rashard Mendenhall pretty much saying he's tired of the average white men out there talking about football when, like, pretty much what he's saying is, like, historically white people are not good at football. So he's like, we should not be able to talk about the game.
Whatever.
But it was just funny because like I thought the tweet was stupid. People took it to heart. I just thought it was stupid. JJ Watt actually had a fun time just kind of running with the tweet. And he was like, he retweeted Rashard Mendenhall, was like, we'd get cooked at corner, not gonna lie. Nobody on our squad is gonna cover Tyreek Hill. And then somebody responded to JJ Watt and said, "Oh, you're gonna ignore the blatant racism. God forbid a white guy stands up for himself." And he was like, "Buddy, listen, we don't need to be offended by everything in this world." He said, "White guys can't play football." I thought to myself, I'm a white guy.
Cheers.
I'm very good. I'm very good at football. And concluded that his statement had no validity. JJ Watt being a future Hall of Famer. Instead of arguing, he had some fun with it at the end, which I thought was a perfect response because, like, why are we going to get worked up about every single fucking stupid thing? Plus, it's Rashard Mendenhall. Rashard Mendenhall was not good. Rashard Mendenhall referred to himself as a great player in football. He was not great.
Mendenhall wasn't even the best running back on his own team.
No, he was good enough to get some job done for them. But he wasn't great, and he retweeted himself with
being
like
a decent fantasy football running back. That's it.
Yeah, I mean he retweeted a picture of him with like with a Super Bowl championship, which then people then returned and said, "Well, is this you fumbling the ball against the Packers in the Super Bowl when you guys lost?" So it was great. There was like a lot of shit against him, but it was just funny because you played. That doesn't mean you were great. You played.
Guys, Miles Sanders played in the Super Bowl.
Miles Sanders is also not great. But you have guys
Miles
like
Sanders. I love Miles, and I think the problem is he literally just Nick Sirianni after that fumble in the Super Bowl was like, dude, you're done. You're dead to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mendenhall had a good 2009, 2010. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, you got
Miles Sanders.
Who was I going with? You've got wow, I just lost whatever. Oh, Emmitt Smith, fantastic, great running back in football. Went to many Super Bowls. There's a difference. He was great. Mendenhall was not. But it was just funny. It was really something stupid. I didn't really.
It was MVP at one. Great running back.
I didn't think anything of it. Even Will Compton made it
for 10 years. You weren't even on a Hall of Fame ballot. That should tell you something right there.
But even Will Compton came out with a video putting a whole roster together, which was funny.
Amazing video, by the way.
And then Ryan Clark actually came out and was like, I'm blessed to have been able to play with a guy like Will Compton. And he actually went on to say that pretty much Mendenhall's take was distasteful and everything. But it was a fun.
We love Ryan Clark here at the corner.
It was a fun headline. Didn't really think anything of it. Didn't care about it. But a lot of people got very offended by it. But I thought JJ Watt had the best response to it all in conclusion.
It's 6 years, 72 games played. Rashard Mendenhall. That's it.
Yeah, he wasn't
good.
No, he was.
I haven't heard the name Rashard Mendenhall since I watched the rerun of The League the other day on FX.
I don't think he was like you said, he was never healthy because his
great show, right?
Yeah, it was a great show.
The guy I lost is kind of like the new Ruxin of our fantasy league, so I'm kind of happy he's in the league. But it sucks he's about to win this year. Forever unclean. Oh, for the record, the reason my brother-in-law's name is Taco is because of that show. My brother-in-law's nickname in my family is literally Taco.
Damn. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Mine's Blackout Chrissy. Nice to meet you.
Listen, it's starting to grow on me. Because you got to pronounce it with a little Paisan emphasis. It's Blackout Chrissy.
Come on now. Let's Blackout Chrissy.
I look like Dollar Store Macho Man Randy Savage with these sunglasses on right now. By the way, shots were our first official sponsor back in the day was Yeats. I got these ones and I got these ones.
Gotta put you in a Slim Jim commercial. You going?
Hell yeah, brother! All right, Maddie. I'm gonna do these sunglasses. I'm gonna have these on for the rest of the show. Let's talk. Whoa, the reverb's off of the glass next to my. This is awesome. Let's talk one sentence game, Maddie. You ready?
All right. As I refill my glass, we are starting with. I'll go last this time. Let's start with Chris. Chris, I'm going to give you the game that you wish that you took for your upset pick. Talk about the Chargers demolishing. Oh, sorry. Talk about the Raiders absolutely demolishing the Chargers.
Raiders. He is the worst impression of all time.
Holy shit. Aiden O'Connell had 4 touchdowns. I don't know if you'll ever see that again in your life. Yeah, I 100% regret not taking this as my upset pick, even though, like, it wouldn't be that crazy to take. But, again, it's something I'm probably going to take to my grave of regretting. Yeah, it was a good win for the Raiders. Good. They won by 42.
Nice.
All right,
Those are
Jared,
fun
I'm going to give you the revenge game that not one person in the world besides Jake Browning knew was a revenge game. The Bengals versus the Vikings overtime thriller.
First of all, T. Higgins makes the greatest catch and stretch of all time. I was getting out of the shower, about to go out and do some work around the house before I went out on Saturday. I'm sitting there, by the way, just don't picture this, but I'm sitting there in my towel, buck naked, watching this fucking clip. I happen to turn the game on just as Browning throws this ball off his back foot. And I'm like, no fucking way. It's about to be intercepted. And then Higgins comes down with it. And it fucking scores.
Dude,
Also, by the way,
head.
I love that Jake Browning's revenge tour is a real thing. I was a big Jake Browning fan when he was at Washington. I thought he got screwed. And also the fact, fuck Mike Zimmer. I mean, it sucks his wife died while he was still coaching. That's awful. But after his wife died, I became a douche. So fuck you, Mike.
I think I said for Christmas, all I wanted was for Mike Zimmer to just smile. He never smiles. Never.
I want Jalen to smile for Christmas.
Yeah, right?
That's like the equivalent of asking Bill Belichick to give you an actual answer when he's at the press conferences. It's just not going to happen.
Everyone's on to Cincinnati. No matter what you're doing.
That's what my coworker said today. He's like, I beat who I had to beat first round of the playoffs. Now I'm on to Cincinnati.
My coworkers, they asked me, he's like, you get those numbers in this week? I'm like, nope, on to Cincinnati. Maybe next time. I'm
going to take the Steelers-Colts game. This game reminded me that Mitchell Trubisky is not good at football. And this reminded me that Gardner Minshew is good at football. Gardner Minshew, 3 touchdowns on the day. Minshew, 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. Happy to see the Colts come back and win that game. Not really come back and win that game, just secure that victory after that ugly hit on Michael Pittman. But Colts advance to 8-6. Steelers fall to 7-7. Mike Tomlin in serious danger of having his first under 500 season, and rumors of possibly being moved on from him. But we will see what happens at the end of the season. I don't think they should move on from him, but that's just my personal opinion. When you have a coach that's never had a losing record in a single season in 15 plus years of being a coach. So what do I know? Chris, let's give you another massacre. Why not? We're going to it's a slasher theme for you. The Lions decimating the Broncos.
Dude, I tell you what, man, like ever since Thanksgiving, I thought the Lions lost their stride a little bit. And then, I'm playing golf each and every week in fantasy. And this is the one week where I didn't play golf. And this is one of the main reasons why I lost. This dude had 5 touchdowns and 280 yards. The whole team just played well. The Broncos got their shit kicked in. The Broncos, they've been like a really inconsistent team. Like, there's stretches where they're cold, there's stretches where they're hot. So it's kind of like going to be a big wild card if they make the playoffs. Detroit is a team I'm a little nervous about still in the NFC.
If you play them outside of a dome, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the
That's
thing.
the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's it. Also, it was so fitting. The second people started talking about the Broncos overtaking the Chiefs, I was like, this is going to recorrect itself real quick. The universe is going to tell us something.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, let's give you another overtime game. Why not? The Texans over the Titans. I believe Case Keenum came into this game.
The legend of Case Keenum. Leave it to the Jets to make this game a game. Shout out to the also for them knocking Nico Collins out. So basically my fantasy team was fucked. Yo, listen, I'm not gonna lie. This Texans team had some balls, man. They just fought for every fucking inch. And Case Keenum making the most awful throw that would have made every quarterback coach in the country freak out, that got them in the field goal range. That's all I'm going to say. It's like, listen, this Texas team will probably win 14 games next year. You heard it here first. The Texans will probably win the AFC next year. I'm just putting y'all on notice now. Because CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. They'll probably go get another guy in free agency, Noah Brown. They're only going to get better on defense. And D'Amico Ryans, this is year one. D'Amico Ryans is the AFC's version of Nick Sirianni, where he's going to make the playoffs year one, get knocked out the first round. Year two is going to go to a Super Bowl. I hope y'all realize y'all fucked around and found out the Panthers really fucked up, man. David Tepper might be the dumbest motherfucker in football.
I hope D'Amico Ryans is in contention for Coach of the Year. He should be.
Mufasa. We love Mufasa.
So are we pretty much chopping up that the Jets hired the wrong defensive coordinator from San Francisco?
Gee, there's a shocker. Yeah.
We'll
Woody
see.
Johnson screwed something up?
Right. Woody Johnson screwed something up. His brother screwed something up. Ooh.
Well,
Anyways,
I have his COVID shot in my arm. I'm waiting for myself to fucking go.
yeah. See, everybody that there's a handful of people that I looked at. Some of them got it because it was a quick one shot kind of thing, and I looked at them. I was like, the guys that make that shot, and they're like the Johnsons. He's like, yeah. I was like, they own the Jets, right? And they were like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, think about all the things wrong with the Jets, and think about that you just put a shot in you from them. And
Here
they were
was
like,
my thinking. I was about to get fired if I didn't get that stupid shot. Let me get the one that doesn't work because natural immunity is like a real thing. Shot Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I just wrote down all the vaccines on a piece of paper. I put them in a hat, and then I picked one out, and that was the shot I was getting.
what'd you land on?
I picked Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. I think I wrote 2 on the same piece of paper, so I got like 2 different vaccines.
How fucking hammered were you at that point?
I heard about that.
Next day, I had like 6 nipples, dude. Like this, I just have just a side effect. 4 of them are from milking.
I heard about people getting one shot and then them saying you can get the other shot after that, and people were like not doing well.
There was like a hot.
Somebody goes, "Hey, yo, get a booster."
There was like a hot pharmacist there, and I was like, "I'll get a 3rd shot if I get a shot with you." And she was like, "Haha, real funny." And then I got my little Spider-Man Band-Aid, and I walked out. No number, nothing. Pissed.
Oh man, you should have went to the Band-Aid section and gotten the Warrior bandages. They got those at CVS. Make you feel really brave.
Dude, I keep getting Hello Kitty ones, man. I feel so bitchy. They'll laugh at me and shit. I have like a tank top on with a little Hello Kitty bandage on my.
I think it looks manly, Chris.
On my noodle arms. Embarrassing. But yeah, I woke up with like 6 nipples, bro. 4 of them from milk. That's what I tell everyone.
Nice. All right.
Well, sticking with the Johnson and Johnsons, I'll just take the bullet and take my Jets Dolphins game. Not what I was expecting.
Chris, when we think we have it bad, just remember Matt's a Jets fan.
Yeah.
I feel bad, dude.
That's when you guys don't hit the panic button yet. I'm like, man, I've been panicking since fucking September.
Matt came out the womb panicking.
Yeah. I had anxiety right out the womb from this team. It's not what I expected. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you I expected to win this game. I just expected them to have a little more of a fight, maybe put up a little more points up on offense, have the defense play a little better. I was just expecting it to be somewhat of a competitive game since they were coming off a nice high of a win, knowing Aaron Rodgers may come back the following week if they won. I just thought they put up a better performance, and they didn't. Tua torched us even without Tyreek Hill. Zach Wilson, I feel bad because I thought Zach Wilson quit on the team. Everybody was saying that he was listed as a headache, as a head injury, but he wasn't in protocol, and they were saying maybe dehydration. I genuinely thought this kid might have quit on this team, but according to his mother, who made an Instagram post, he did get hit in the head a bunch of times, and when he got knocked down at that last play, I think by Bradley Chubb, he apparently had blurred vision, and he was just having a hard time just figuring things out. So I genuinely feel bad, and I hope that kid is perfectly fine. We will never see him in a Jets uniform ever again, most likely, but I still feel for the kid. I hope things work out for him in the future. But just a terrible, terrible game. And we officially were eliminated after that game. So, moving on. Christopher, we are going to stick with the slasher theme. I'm going to give you Saints-Giants, 24-6 victory in New Orleans' favor.
Ooh, Saints-Giants. I always get the Saints games, and I love it, dude. Derek, drive my car. Yeah. I don't know, Tommy. Yeah, I feel like Tommy DeVito. Is the little fun stretch where the whole NFL went Italian for like a week. I feel like that's now out the window with DeVito, unless he has a bounce back week. Hopefully, it's not this week. But It was a good win for the Saints. Are they? They're also in the wild card. Or they're also are they in playoff
They're
contention?
tied
too?
with Buccaneers for
Yeah.
NFC South.
NFC South. Oh yeah, dude. I saw like a couple weeks ago that like the Panthers were still in contention to win the division, and they had like 10 losses or
Oh,
9 or 10.
please tell me, Matty, I get the Falcons game.
Oh, hey, you want it? You can have it.
I want it.
All right. We got.
Arthur
I'm gonna give
Smith. You fugly mustache wearing, fantasy hating, gambling sucking, silver spoon motherfucker. You lame ass little bitch. Not only did you cost me about $50 this weekend because your dumbass couldn't stop the damn Panthers, who basically have the equivalent of me and Chris blackout drunk as an offense.
Arthur Smith.
Yo, that's an insult to Chick Hicks. That's an insult to Chick Hicks. You nepotism baby, you. You suck. You're the worst. You are literally the new Brandon Staley. I will shit on you till the day you're let go, and I'm going to laugh when you don't get another NFL job. You are horrible. At least Matt Patricia and Josh McDoofus came from a good coaching tree. You morons just came out of nowhere. You somehow sprouted up and took credit for Derrick Henry being an Asgardian playing football against humans. You're an idiot. You're the worst. Arthur Blank should have fired your ass after last year. Because Desmond Ritter's not a bad quarterback. You're a bad coach. I have spoken.
Fair enough. Fair enough. He definitely cost a lot of people that fantasy week, including myself in one league.
How does Bijan not score a fucking touchdown on that goal line?
I'm going to take the Buccaneers Green Bay Packers game. Baker may be back. 381 yards and 4 touchdowns. Actually used Mike Evans this week, which would have helped me out because with his current stat line for this week, if I had that last week instead of 1 catch for 8 yards, I would have won in advance, but here we are. But Baker's back. 381 yards, 4 touchdowns. Tampa Bay beating them 34-20. Jordan Love didn't have a bad game either. Threw 2 touchdowns off 284 yards. Aaron Jones came back into that game. Dontavian Wicks is looking pretty good. Just not enough to get the job done. Bucks take this game, and they regain first place in the NFC South. All right, Chris, let's give you your old buddy Joe Flacco's beating the Chicago Bears.
Oh, dude, Joe Flacco, dude. He's fucking awesome. Dude, he is fucking awesome. Just when you think Joe Flacco's out of the game, he pulls you right back in, dude. He's like the Godfather. He's beautiful, man. Dude, like I'm in the fourth quarter of fantasy 1:00 games. I got Amari Cooper. I'm thinking he's done. And then next thing you know, Joe Flacco just whizzes. I don't even know how he throws. Just whizzes a ball to the sideline. And then Amari Cooper breaks it for like a 50-yard touchdown. Honestly, I win this whole thing. If I come back and I win the 6-pack, I want a Joe Flacco Browns jersey. You heard it on the stream. You heard it here first. Joe Flacco, game-worn Cleveland Browns jersey.
We're only paying you $33 a pop for this one, man, because we're not going to like if you want to spend the money on that, go for it.
I will wear it. I will buy one. Damn, I should have ordered it for Christmas. That would have been hilarious. Wear it for the Christmas party. I just wear a Joe Flacco Browns jersey. I don't know. I was so hyped to see Flacco pull out another dub. It's just great. I hope it just keeps working out for him. Even the Bears are shit too, dude.
I love Bears fans live streams on TikTok. They're hysterical. They're screaming, throwing temper tantrums. I'm like, do you guys realize who you root for? At least it's not like the Eagles or the Cowboys where like there's an expectation of being decent. Like you root for literally the NFL equivalent of like Cleveland Brown. It's just there, just average, disappointing as a character.
All right, we're gonna move on to another game. Jared, you got the Chiefs and the Patriots.
You know, I forgot I was rooting for the Patriots in this one because Chris had his as gimme, and then I realized after the Chiefs won that the Chiefs were the team I was rooting against, and I was really sad. I was like, oh, I was pulling for the Chiefs here. This sucks. I thought you had them as your upset, and I was like, why do you take them as his upset? I read it wrong.
Yeah, but, I was so nervous about that too because they already lost me one gimme.
Well, listen, Mahomes got a gimme call. But the universe is back in balance. The refs are playing for Mahomes again. Belichick's upset about something, and New England Patriot quarterback not named Tom Brady threw an interception or had a turnover. So, yeah, it's whatever. This one's par for the course. The Chiefs are not a good football team this year. I think the Super Bowl hangover hit the Chiefs harder than hit the Eagles.
I think it's more of a. I just look at that general manager. I'm like, what? I mean, I know you got Patrick Mahomes, but like,
Brett
really
Veach is a dipshit. Brett Veach is a fucking dipshit. I don't understand how he has it. Like he Andy Reid deserves all the credit for that in the world. It's not Brett Veach.
I'm sorry. There's only one quarterback in my lifetime that I've ever seen turn something into nothing, and that is Tom Brady. Just with some of the, I mean, I know people forget. Like, I know, yes, he had, Chad Ochocinco for a brief amount of time. He didn't really do anything in New England, but they had Randy Moss. But there was times where he had like Danny Amendola, Chris Hogan, and Brandon LaFell, and this man was still going to Super Bowls. And it's just like this guy, you can't give. I know it's Mahomes. You have Travis Kelce, yes, but you can't give this man Montez Valdez-Scantling. You can't give him Kadarius Toney. Yeah, MVS, Kadarius Toney, Watson, Sky Moore, guys like like Noah Brown, not Noah Brown, Daniel Brown, I think it is, or whatever it was. You just can't. You got to give him somebody. You can't, or Noah Gray is who I'm thinking of. You got to give him players. Like, I mean, I know he's Patrick Mahomes, but he still needs somebody that's going to catch the ball, not drop the ball. Not one person on the team besides Travis Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco can catch a ball. Moving on. I got the Niners and the Cardinals. The Niners just absolutely destroyed the Cardinals, as I think we all kind of expected that to happen. Brock Purdy, another 4-touchdown game. Starting to be a front runner for MVP. Don't think Mr. Relevant has ever done that before. And you've got a new number one seed right now with the Niners, but that can all change very quickly, as we all know in the NFL. Christopher, we're going to stick with you, and I'm going to give you. Oof. You want a good game or you want another slasher?
It doesn't matter. I'll see if I can get creative. Also, guys, Joe Flacco t-shirt's going on for $40, dude. That's an undersell where I come from. But I'm cool.
I'm gonna give you a slasher, and I think you'll like this one because it involves a team getting slashed that I know you despise, and that would be the Bills demolishing the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are back to reality. That's what I love about Dallas, man. Every single year, they get their hopes up. They always contend with the Eagles for the division. They usually
and then
do.
we get the Stephen A. Smith clip of him
Yeah,
chuckling.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Cowboys got their ass kicked. They lost to a team that's over 500. So surprising. I'm going to give a big F you to Dak Prescott because I lost in my fantasy league because I played Dak once again because I thought Dak was going to have a good game. He's been playing well this whole year. So I'm like, you know what? I'll give the guy a chance. He stunk. I should have played Brock Purdy. It was a better matchup. Yeah, Cowboys. Yikes.
That's the best way to put it.
And Josh Allen had 94 yards and a touchdown. Just
by the way, their next two games are against Detroit and against Miami. Both winnable games, but also, I think Detroit's in Detroit and Miami's in Miami.
I believe Miami is their next game, and it is in Miami. And bad news for the Cowboys is that I believe Tyreek Hill will be back at that game.
Also,
which nobody's covering him.
James Cook went off.
Dude, 175 on the ground.
Yeah. And again, Josh Allen had 94 yards and a touchdown. Like, didn't do a thing. He threw the ball 15 times.
You know what's funny too is
I'm not saying the guy's good at football. I'm just gonna say. I mean, he also has. Josh Allen's kind of good at football. I mean, he's also.
I'm not the biggest Josh Allen guy, but sometimes it's the bare minimum that can win you a game.
It's kind of funny looking at guys like Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary having some pretty good success down in Houston. Zach Moss looking pretty good in Indianapolis. It's kind of funny when maybe teams figure out maybe the right way to use those guys and to see how actually they are pretty good running backs. But it's just funny how the Bills took 3 consecutive drafts of drafting a running back in order for them to finally learn how to actually use one correctly. But anyways,
they wasted TJ Spiller's career.
Yeah. That's a name because there was so much promise and potential with that, and I really thought he was going to go off in Buffalo.
Pick, man. Dude,
I thought he was going to go off in Buffalo.
one year in fantasy football, me and one of my friends, we just did like a trade in the beginning of the year. It was probably really stupid, dude. I traded he traded me CJ Spiller. I gave him, remember Zach Stacy, the old running back for
Yes.
the Rams, who just like he had the
Yes.
one like pretty good year or something like that. Or he was like or in the middle of the year. We did that trade, and they both, I think, tore their ACL, or they both had like season-ending injuries the same week, and it was the most useless trade of all time. That's the one thing I remember with CJ Spiller.
My greatest fantasy trade to this date was trading Chris Carson his rookie year and getting Keenan Allen, and then Chris Carson broke his leg, and I went on to win the fantasy championship with Keenan Allen.
That's it. I had one where it was I traded Marshawn Lynch and I got Antonio Brown, and then that's the time Antonio Brown had like 50 fantasy points on that last game of the season. Like Big Ben just kept throwing on the ball. I forget who they played, but I think he had like 210 yards and like 2 or 3 touchdowns. Just went off.
Kids these days will never know the feeling of just having that year where you finally get to draft Antonio Brown and he just goes off for you in fantasy like 8-9 years ago. Kids these days will never
He
understand.
was like FedEx. He was like UPS, man. He always delivered.
Yeah, no, Whittaway. No, he dude would just go off.
Whittaway.
Dude,
Whittaway citizen.
What do we black out, Chrissy?
Jared, you said you had Keaton Mitchell in your fantasy?
Oh, God. You're making me talk about this fucking game.
Well, we're going to give you Ravens Jaguars. Relive it. Just talk about it. Get it out there.
Keaton Mitchell is going to be a top 10 running back by the end of next season. The poor kid. I feel so bad. If he does not get shoelace tackled on that crappy Baltimore field, my man's running still. And I am probably running into the second round of the fantasy playoffs. I knew my season was over watching Mitchell just like his knee just buckle. He's on IR right now. Hopefully, speedy recovery for Keaton Mitchell. Ravens are still the best team in the AFC by a mile. Anybody who says the Chiefs are morons. I am a very firm prediction. We are going to have a Ravens versus blank for the Super Bowl. Because I think the Ravens, when they play the Chiefs, we're going to see Ravens 49ers on Sunday. Or Monday. I'm excited.
If they play each other, would it be a rematch of like the 2012 Super Bowl, right? Or
yeah, but nobody wants that.
Nobody
wants Purdy versus Lamar. People want like Jalen versus Lamar, Dak versus Lamar.
Yeah.
Listen, I besides the 49ers, like this whole Brock Purdy thing is like fucking annoying. They lose Christian McCaffrey, their offense is not even half as good.
I agree.
Whatever. All right.
I got the last game on the evening with the obvious game we're putting a little mulligan on. I've got the Commanders and the Rams. The Rams just beating the Commanders up 28-20. Stafford 2 touchdowns off 258 passing. Kyron Williams once again just having an absolute insane game. 152 yards on the ground with a touchdown. Cooper Kupp going over 100 yards and another touchdown. And the apparently benched Sam Howell during the game and put in Jacoby Brissett, who went to throw completed 8 of 10 passes for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Clearly looked like the better quarterback in that matchup. Sam Howell going 11 for 26, 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Was pulled from the game and was still named the starter going forward. You got to think this Howell experiment's done. You got to think this Ron Rivera experiment's done. At this point, maybe looking to Eric Bieniemy, but you got to clean some house. You got to get rid of the coach. You got to get a new quarterback. And the Commanders will probably do what the Commanders always do, which is just bargain shop. They'll go and get they could stick with a Jacoby Brissett. They'll go and get somebody like a Derek Carr type of player if there's something available. They're just going to go for that mid quarterback that's used to be very good or maybe was just never good, but they're just not go-getters. Carson Wentz and Sam Howell and Ryan Fitzpatrick in the last handful of years, and Alex Smith coming back after those 17 surgeries it's just not looking like a team that's looking to make a change and get a franchise type quarterback.
They should trade back for Kirk Cousins. Just run it back what they had at that one time.
They're probably going to be able to just sign him now.
Yeah. I don't even know if he's getting traded. He might just. I don't know what his contract's like, but if he's
that is a perfect name to just throw out there because that just fits what quarterback that is very good, not great, not bad, but is a perfect guy that they will go for because that is who they go for because they want the bargain guy to get the job done so they don't got to pay him a lot of money. And Kirk Cousins will come at a smaller discount because he's coming off that big injury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Y'all got anything else?
That was all the games.
Also, starting a GoFundMe for Get the Intern a Flacco shirt. Going to post the link on Corner Booth Twitter.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. All right. Corner Booth Christmas party is on Thursday. We will announce our guests, and the graphic will be both be announced tomorrow evening, I believe, like 7 o'clock-ish. I'll drop it. The link will be there. 7 o'clock, be there. The rules are simple. Like the Instagram post from Mr. Matt posting on the main Instagram Twitter account. It'll be a picture. You like it, and you comment your Instagram. You comment a comment with your Instagram tag, like what your Instagram handle is, and we'll send you a gift card. Or you have a chance to be sent a gift card. That's the rules. That's all you have to do. Like our Instagram post and comment on our YouTube stream on the Belly Up YouTube channel. That's all you have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in 2 days. Have an amazing rest of your week. Next time you see me, I will be celebrating that I have 5 days off from work.
Ooh.
I might be walking into my barbershop on Friday morning looking like a zombie, and I'm okay with that. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have a great evening. Shout out to our sponsors, Mahler Bros, promo code BellyUp15 for 15% off. Belly Up Sports is the promo code for our friends over at SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase, and our favorite sponsor, Candidates, promo code BellyUp20 for 20% off your purchase at checkout. We will see you guys on Thursday for the Corner Booth Christmas party, round 5. Should be a good time. No idea who's coming on yet. I have like 16 people who've said maybe. It's going to be a lot of confirmation, yes or no's in the next 24 hours. Peace.